Um, yeah, so the last 7 months have been quite an experience, for you
Mm-hmm.
also, I'm sure.
Mm-hmm.
Just completely unprecedented times, and just trying to get the right bits of information so that we stay informed. And then also, it's really made me aware of how important it is that everyone plays their part of being responsible,
Mm-hmm.
in your own little way. It's very, very important. And it's also shown me how reliant we are on each other. And I think that's a very healthy thing for society, because then it will mean that when we are doing things, our actions will now be governed by how they affect other people. And I think that's a really good, healthy mental place to be in.
Mm-hmm. Are people staying distant and wearing masks where you are?
Yeah,
Yeah.
which was quite weird to see, like especially as early on as March, to be walking around in your grocery store and seeing people, wearing their masks and gloves, and just that weird kind of social awkwardness, but with a very heightened element of there's this virus around and we don't know too much about it, but yet it's life threatening. And it was a weird kind of energy, and I just hope that more and more we get to some semblance of normalcy in a very safe way. I
Mm-hmm.
hope.
So we're here to talk about Star Trek Discovery. So for those that don't know, tell them about
What
Star
is Star
Trek
Trek
Discovery.
Discovery? I don't know what you're talking about. What you talking about?
That's not a spoiler.
That is not a spoiler.
It's been on TV. Okay, so tell them about Star Trek Discovery, and how would you describe Cleveland Booker?
Yeah, for sure. So, Star Trek Discovery season 3 will take place nearly 1,000 years into the future. The beginning of the season starts at the end, literally, of season 2, where we see Michael Burnham as the Red Angel flying, and then she literally crash lands into Cleveland Booker's ship, and that's where the journey begins. Cleveland Booker is a really, really cool character. Um, uh, Different to what we've been used to with the various iterations of Star Trek. And he is going to definitely inject something cool and fun within the franchise. Um, he forms a relationship with Michael Burnham, and Michael Burnham forms a relationship with Cleveland Booker. And throughout the season, they will bring out the best in each other.
Mm-hmm.
See, I
I've
managed to
heard
say that without giving away any spoilers, because I'm very
that's quite
mindful of that.
impressive.
Yeah,
I
I have to be very careful. I don't want to spoil it.
was going to say the season really starts off with your character, but I'm like, am I allowed to say that?
Yeah.
I don't want to
No, it's
reveal
funny.
anything.
No, literally, you just, because in my mind, because I'm thinking, especially because of, knowing what we managed to achieve throughout the season with various characters individually and then also, collectively, I really want the audience to experience the same joy that I had when reading the episodes, going from moment to moment and seeing the discoveries and the revelations of characters and plot lines. So that's why I'm very mindful not to give away anything.
So let's talk about how you crafted the character. You said that you wanted to look at his purpose. Why does he get out of bed in the morning?
Mm.
So what did you discover was his purpose?
His purpose was to find something or meaning greater than himself. I think for Cleveland Booker, if he was reliant on doing things that were fulfilling for himself, he could easily just give up and not get up out of bed because he wouldn't be disappointing anyone. So I thought, how can we allow this guy to pursue something where its very nature is reliant on him doing his job because it's for the greater good and for mankind?
Mm.
What kind of job or role could it be that if he wasn't to do and carry out that task, people's lives and creatures' lives would be endangered? So I had to really think of something where the stakes were really, really high, just so that when he was navigating his way through this new world, it was from a place of necessity bigger than himself. So that's why I kind of started, and I just kind of built from there.
I know character is very important to you. So how did you
Yeah.
craft the character?
So my main thing was just to get a feel for him, you know, to just, uh, he has to feel real. He has to feel like someone I've met before, someone who I know, someone who I feel comfortable living with, you know. But in all honesty, I didn't really have to do a lot. And not just saying that, because the writers on the show have given me such a gift with this character. And it just from the storylines to little moments and little one-liners, they've given me so much food to play with that yeah, it was a joy. It wasn't hard because they gave me all that I needed.
And in the beginning, you have quite the clash with Sonequa's character. They
Hmm.
have very different styles and ways of doing things. So what was it like collaborating with her and then working on that dynamic?
It was so much fun. Like Sonequa, who plays Michael Burnham, uh, is just a really, really wonderful person to be around. She has a great work ethic, a great attitude towards work, towards people, towards pushing herself and those around her. And it was evident when we were rehearsing the fight sequence and when we were shooting it even, because that fight sequence, we were meant to have filmed it in 3 parts, but because we were tight for time on that particular day, we had to film the entire sequence with the dialogue always in a one-up, always in a one-up. And we don't usually do that. But she is the type of person that will rise to the challenge, you know. And when you're working with people who have a work ethic like that, it just inspires you to just keep digging deep, which was awesome. I can't wait for you all to see. I know you managed to see it, but I can't wait for those who haven't to be able to see the first episode of the new season, because it's a feast for the eyes.
Mm-hmm. And I think I'm allowed to say that people are really going to get a kick out of you and Doug Jones's character. Your dynamic together is just adorable. These scenes are great. So what was it like working with him?
Oh, Doug's great. Wonderful, wonderful human being. And look, Doug's been around for a while, you know, and I know a lot of people are familiar with his work, and he deserves all the praise and accolades that comes his way. He's a consummate professional, has a great attitude towards work, and I was really excited when I looked at the pages of the script and I saw they had scenes with Saru, because just even on camera, the physical dynamic between the two of our characters are so different, you know, and I just love that element of two people are so very, very different, but yet find commonality in a common goal, again, which is bigger than themselves.
Mm-hmm. So without revealing anything, do you have a favorite on-set memory? Or downtime?
A favorite on-set memory? Oh, there's a few. There's a few, but there's oh man, there's too many. No, there are too many. One of them, it would be, okay, episode 1,
Mm-hmm.
the fight sequence under the waterfall. That was fun, because I remember that day we were again tight for time, and we were in Iceland. In Iceland, that period of time in the year has 21 hours of daylight, but yet we were still fighting daylight. And we were filming this sequence, and we had to film it so quickly. The turnaround was so quick because we were losing the sun. I remember completing this scene, finishing, and then there was just this moment of serenity. And then Sonequa and myself were looking out at the sun about to set, and then the waterfall, the water just, you know, falling down. And it just felt like such a wonderful spiritual moment. And it was so fulfilling. And we didn't say anything to each other, but we felt the presence of something so special. And yeah, that really touched me.
What was it like filming in Iceland? It's gorgeous.
It's amazing. It's so amazing. it's so amazing to be in Iceland and to see the scenery and to see that this backdrop exists and doesn't need anything. We can literally just shoot it, put it straight on camera with minimal CGI. What an experience.
Mm-hmm. You said that you weren't going to watch the first 2 seasons because you wanted to be free and clear of that until after you were finished filming. So have you watched it now?
How did you hear about that?
Just hear things.
I will definitely watch season 1 and 2. When? Maybe sometime next year. Maybe sometime next year. Yeah, it's just one of those things. It was really tough to do because I had to make the sacrifice of doing it. But the logics behind it was the fact that we're going nearly 1,000 years into the future. I didn't want to watch the show and become too familiar with the different characters and too familiar with the world of Star Trek Discovery, how things are done, especially because this is a character who doesn't exist in that time period. So I didn't want to have any influence of it. So when I'm on set and I'm meeting Michael Burnham, or I'm meeting Tilly, or I'm meeting Stamets, I want that interaction to be as pure as meeting them for the first time without having any preconceived ideas of who they are or who I think they may be. And that was just really important to me.
Mm-hmm. And finally, what have you been watching? What have you been reading?
Oh, I've been reading a lot of stuff, actually. Just dipping in and out of different books.
Any recommendations? Any good ones?
Yeah, maybe it's because I'm missing the theater, but I was reading bits from Hamlet, which is it's a great play, period. Yeah. But I think there was just something about this guy being in a predicament and seeing the world around him changing. And maybe it's because of how I feel about the world around me changing, and I somehow gravitated towards going back into reading pages from Hamlet. So yeah, I would say I'd recommend checking out Hamlet and any other of Shakespeare's great plays, if you feel so inclined to do so.
I have it in my bookcase.
Oh, great.
So yeah, so I'll, yeah. It's always good to revisit Shakespeare. There's always like little things that you didn't pick up on when you read it years earlier.
Yeah.
That life experience, just you're like, oh, I relate to that now.
Yeah.
Or I find the poetry in this now. And it's,
I'm so happy you said that, because it's so true. It's so true to revisit material and to see certain things. Oh, wow. Oh, I missed that before. Oh, now I understand it on a much deeper level. I think that's the joy of great writing. It's constantly evolving, because we are too constantly evolving.
Especially now, where we're having so much time to reflect.
Even more so, right?
Yeah, for sure. Well, thank you so much for your time, David.
Thank you. I really enjoyed speaking with you. That was really cool.
Yeah, thank you. Have a lovely day.